Hey there, my name is Alexis Ginsberg. I'm a senior product designer here at GitLab within the plan stage. Today I'm going to give you a demo of Swimlanes and issue boards. This is something that will be shipping fairly soon, so I'll just give you some quick highlights here and some ideas around how to use this. So what you see here is an issue board. This is something hopefully fairly familiar to you. I use this every day to understand how my workflow or my work items or issues are moving through the workflow. With Swimlanes, or more specifically Epic Swimlanes, I will now see not only how my work items or issues are moving through our workflow, but I'll also get the added benefit of now understanding how those issues are funneling up towards a larger goal or epic. So to get this benefit, we first need to turn Epic Swimlanes on. You can see here in this group by dropdown in the upper right hand corner that we're not grouping our issues by anything. So in order to turn Swimlanes on, we need to group our issues by epic. So the board now looks a little bit different. And again, that's because we are now grouping by epic. You can see these epics here as swim lanes or rows. You can see more information about each epic or go to the epic. You can view how many issues are within each epic. So for example, you see there's 2 issues here, but they could be anywhere within the workflow. And in order to see epics within your board, they need to be open, they need to have issues assigned to them, and they need to match the scope of the board. So you can see that I've scoped this board, and these epics have the same scope. They're open, and they have issues assigned to them. Otherwise, this board behaves very similarly to issue boards. It retains much of the same functionality. You can still add a list. You can remove a list if you want to. You can collapse a list if you don't want to look at it. You can move a list around. And similarly, you can also still move issues. So I can move my issue to a different workflow stage. And this is all stuff you can do in a current board or current issue board. But you can also now reassign the epics of each issue. So for example, here you see this issue is within the feedback request epic. You could see that in 2 places. I can quickly just drag and drop it not only to a different workflow stage, but to a different epic. And you can see this will reassign the epic of that issue. So now it's in this improve the add list experience in boards. And you can see that in both places. So if I wanted to move this back to the prior epic, I could either drag it over, or if I want to go the more traditional route, I could just reassign it from the sidebar itself. So let's go ahead and do that now. And we should see this just pop back into place. There you go. So that's just another little added functionality for these new Epic Swimlane boards. You can also still create an issue, but it's just going to behave a little bit differently. So let's say I want to create a new issue within the workflow validation backlog stage. When I click that, it will now hop me down to the end of the board into this issues with no epic assigned swim lane. And the reason why this issue would be created within this swim lane is because, of course, a new issue wouldn't have any epic assigned to it. And this swim lane here is all the issues that are in your board but aren't assigned to any epic. And that's why it could get fairly large. So that's why it's at the bottom of the board. So once you've created this issue, you can go ahead and, like we just saw, assign an epic to it from the sidebar or drag it to any epic you want it to belong to. Another thing to note here is that you can now hide the open and close lists just by unchecking them. So if I go ahead and save that, it would then remove the open and close list from my board. And this is helpful if maybe you don't use those lists very often, and they just contain a lot of issues that you don't really want to see on your board, because hiding that list will also hide the issues within that list. So that's just another added functionality for you, another bit of flexibility for your issue boards. So that, like I said, is Epic Swimlanes in a nutshell. This is our MVC, so it's our first iteration of Epic Swimlanes. You can see we've done a lot of work here, but we still have a lot of work to go. This is an MVC, it's our first iteration. We're going to keep working on this and improving this. And outside of Epic Swimlanes, as you can see here, we're also going to introduce new swim lane types. So next up is things like health status swim lanes, assignee swim lanes, label swim lanes, milestone swim lanes, priority swim lanes, lots of swim lanes. If you have any feedback on that, feel free to leave that in this Epic. Otherwise, I really hope you use the Epic Swimlanes MVC, and when you do use that, we would always appreciate any feedback you have. You could leave that here in this feedback issue. I'm going to attach the link to this to the YouTube video. You can also find it in the MVC Epic, but otherwise, we will keep improving this here, but we hope you enjoy our MVC of Epic Swimlanes. We hope you leave feedback, and we hope to hear from you soon. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.